If you watched my last two videos, the Easter eggs pointing to the return of the Cuda and the Viper, this is basically going to be part 3, and I'll leave the other videos linked down below. But there are a few things that bother me, and I think I might have just figured out more clues pointing to the V10 coming back in the Viper. But what if you want something crazy? No, a lot crazier.
But let's say you want to get crazy, a little crazy. No, actually, a lot crazy.
What if a Ram SRT-10 truck could make a return and reignite the sport truck market?
The thing I fought for but didn't get. Is that what you asked me?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Probably a Gen 6 Viper. Well, I wanted to get a paddle shift system in the Viper. We could not package it. I don't know if that would have saved the car. I think it's one of those cars that now that it's gone, people appreciate it more. But when it came out, everyone was like, well, it doesn't have paddle shift. It doesn't have this, doesn't have it. You know, because we were broke. We made the car literally exiting bankruptcy. I don't even know how we got that car approved because we had a lot of bigger fish to fry at the time. So yeah, it was a miracle, baby.
All right, I'm over 41,000 friends, and it's 71% of you guys who are watching, but not yet subscribed. Help a butter out so I can catch up to OC Motivator. Now, the first clue that we have that was bothering me was the clock on the wall, which was a horrible resolution. Thanks, Dodge, but no thanks. But it's hard to tell exactly what time it was on the clock. But I've explained in other videos, Dodge loves to hide horsepower clues in clocks and radios. And it was hard to see exactly what time it was on the wall. Now I thought it said 10:12, but it appears that it was 10:13. Now I was looking around Dodge Garage and I found an article that came out a few weeks ago about the history of the Dodge Viper. Now you read through it and you go down to the part where it says about Dyno Cell 13. Now, oh yeah, so they pulled out of retirement Dyno Cell 13 to test the V10 Viper engine they used to test other previous Hemi engines like Richard Petty's engines. So now it makes sense that Dyno Cell 13 testing a V10, which is 1013, it actually is pretty cool to find out. Now, I actually found out within a few minutes of posting that video that I did, but I haven't had the time to actually make an update video to talk about it until now. But I did drop a comment down in the actual section. I think I pinned it, and someone made sense exactly what I saw, but they got to it first before I was able to do the update. So at least I'm not the only one with this conspiracy theory about the Viper V10 engine. So with that Easter egg out the way, let's talk about the next one, this neon sign. Now I'll save that for another video, because that'll support an argument that TK's Garage has said about the Mamba Viper Edition that he talked about in his video right here. But I'm going to focus on the racetracks on the wall for this particular section of the video. I broke down the significance of the tracks in the Viper's video, which basically they're all the track records and significance of those tracks to the Dodge Viper. But I still had a question as to why on that list some of these tracks were listed twice. You got Laguna Seca on the wall twice, you got Road Atlanta on the road twice, and you got the Raffle Race School on there twice. You got one picture of the track and then one picture of just the Raffle Racing School's logo. So why is this the case? So I took a step back and just started counting the Easter eggs that are hanging on the wall. Well, you have the neon sign, I'm talking about another video. You got the Laguna Seca racetrack, the Road Atlanta racetrack, the Raffle Race School racetrack, you got the Vegas race park. Then above that track, you got the clock on the wall, so that's number 6. You got the Cuda logo, that's number 7. You got the Raffle Racing School's logo, that's 8. And then you got the Road Atlanta sign again for the actual track, that's 9. And then finally, you got another Laguna Seca again on this corner over here. So you got 10 total Easter eggs on the wall. Now, I didn't count the Frog Salt logo hanging on the wall because that's not written in Easter egg. So you got 10 Easter eggs and you got 1013 on the clock, and you got the Viper on the lift like it's being worked on again. So to me, it just other clear signs that a Viper is coming back, especially with a V10. Now, if you really want to go down to a rabbit hole, if you take the 10 Easter eggs and you add it to the 10 on the clock, that equals 20, and then you get 2013. Now, ain't that the same year that the Gen 5 Viper came out? So I'm just saying, I know that was a very big reach of me, but every clue is on the table when it comes to this actual configurator. So I'm just saying.
Now, if that wasn't enough, and you're really paying attention, and you're really quick with the math, and you paid attention to the cars outside.
Now, this leads me to my final point. How does all this connect to a Viper V10 Ram truck? Now, technically it doesn't, but I seem to remember interesting conversations with Stellantis that if there is a business case for something within Dodge, it needs to make sense within Ram trucks. Now, Ram makes the money, and you can see the relationship between Dodge and Ram all from the past, several years, right? You got a Pentastar Dodge cars, then you got that also in the Ram 1500. You got a 5.7 Hemi in the Dodge RT cars, and then you got that in the regular Ram 1500 pickup trucks. You got a 392 in the Dodge Scat Packs, and then you had the Ram HD trucks having 392s in them. You got the Hellcat going into the actual Dodge cars, because the Hellcat technically is the same one. Well, it's not exactly the same, but you can get the point that a 6.2 liter Hellcat engine shares the same block, but it's all in the Hellcat, the Red Eye, the Super Stock, and the Demon 170. And then if you move over to Ram, that's in the Ram TRX. If we go in the future, we're gonna have all these Hurricane Power 6-pack cars, the standard output and high output versions, and those are gonna be in the Ram trucks.
We are putting the new inline 6 twin turbo Hurricane engines in our truck lineup going forward, both in the standard output and the high output.
In the past, you had at one point in time a V10 Dodge Viper, and they also had a Ram SRT-10 truck. Now, given how crucial it is for the companies to make a return to glory, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, they basically need to share some of these components in these vehicles, and it makes perfect sense for, especially in this particular case, for a V10 to be shared between Ram and Dodge in the SRT-10 truck, revive that trim, and then revive the Dodge Viper. That conversation I had last year was a very big clue, and it made a lot of sense when I sat down and think about it, that yes, it is definitely possible for that Ram SRT-10 truck to come back if the Viper is coming back. Then the second clue that I had earlier this year was when I said in a video that I got a clue about looking into sport trucks. And what better sport truck than the SRT-10 Ram 1500? That particular truck is like one thing that I loved from my childhood when I was poor, that those trucks was in their height during my high school years. Now they're all gone, and now everybody does, off-road trucks, but now everybody wants an off-road truck because you have people who have Ram TRXs that never leave the pavement. So I'm just saying that I think that truck would make a lot of sense bringing the V10 back in the Ram 1500. Now, you also add the fact that Stellantis also owns the trademarks to Viper, ACR, and SRT-10. So the only thing holding that truck back in my particular eyes is my dear friend Tim Kuniskis. Well, there is the issue of tariffs, no single cab, no manual transmission in the Ram 1500. I'm pretty sure there's no engine built for the Viper, because I'm pretty sure they're going to hand build those engines again, and no retooling or no no redoing of the engine bay or whatever to make a V10 Viper fit that we know of. But other than that, barring all that stuff, it all rests on the shoulder of Tim Kuniskis. So I'm just saying.
Completely undeserved. Welcome.
A Viper V10 Ram truck, in my opinion, would be cool, it would be fresh, and Ram will be making history once again. I hope that when the V10 comes back, it'll have probably 700 to 800 horsepower, especially with modern day updates, because if they can get 670 horsepower out of a naturally aspirated V8 Z06, you should be able to get more horsepower out of a modern day version of the Viper V10 engine. So this truck, the Ram SRT-10, could inspire Ford to make a real, true lightning pickup truck again, and not that electric nonsense that they basically put on that failed EV pickup truck. I mean, I just hate that they use a legendary name for a vehicle, kind of like how they did with the Charger Daytona. It would be cool to see some kind of 720 horsepower version of the street version of a Raptor R. Basically, that's all Ford has to do, take the Raptor R, make it to a street version, and bam, you have basically a new modern day SVT Lightning. And then you have it taking on a V10 Ram 1500, and Chevy, I'm pretty sure, will just sit back and do nothing as they usually do. So I don't know why they'll never engage in doing stuff like that, but whatever. I asked in a poll, and it seems about 60% of people would love to see a Ram Viper powered truck. So I'm just saying, I think the truck will be a very hot seller in the market right now, especially since, Ram has dozens of product announcements to make, and that might be just the the topping on the cake. But let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that we will see a new version of the Ram SRT-10 truck? They got the trademarks for the name. They left plenty of clues that the V10 is coming back, but does it make sense for a V10 Ram truck? Would you buy that truck over a Ram TRX, or would you buy that truck over a Dodge Viper? But let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Make sure you guys hit like and thumbs up. Well, like, thumbs up is the same thing, but make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because I got a lot more things to say, especially in the next couple of videos. I'm gonna be doing a couple of two-a-days over the next couple of days. So let me know what you guys think. And until the next time, I'm out.